Okay. I definitely didn't just like completely forget about like coming back onto stream or anything. I didn't just completely forget any of that. All right. Um Hey guys, how's it going? Oh my. Oh, hold on. You can't know what I do in my free time. All right. What were we doing? What were we doing? What's that PDF reader called? Oh wait, hold up. It's right there. You guys want to see lab-grown steak.mp4? I don't know which ones of these are snuff videos, so I don't want to click on any of them. What's up, guys? I said I'd fucking finish it. I'm gonna fucking finish it. Okay, like, this is all really specific, like, very historical stuff, okay? Like, you want me to dissect this entire movement? Dude, come on. Not my expertise, alright? I'm trying to render some valuable information from this. No one's asking you to be an expert. Just to fucking do it. Oh, and since I'm gonna be streaming like this, like again, like every day, alright, count them. Count them up. Count them up. Are they there? 3 on the side, 3 on the bottom, 4 on the top, 4 in the middle. Okay. Okay. And I had an espresso today, so I've been feeling fucking wired. Like, I don't think I've ever been this type of wired. I spent all day hanging out with my dog, basically, and just doing what she wanted to do while quitting smoking and having an espresso, which I don't do any of these things every day. Um, it's like, got me feeling fucked. But I'm not, like, I don't feel like sexually abused or anything. So like, I would say that that puts this day up at least 50 points. At least 50 points. Like, just across the bar. We're talking 50 points on average. That's how much better my day is. Not feeling like a sexual abuse victim. So yeah, I don't know, random, but just cool for me. The bot's doing a lot of random things. And it fucking throws me off because I actually focus more when I'm fucking miserable. Because I built my whole life around saving myself from misery. But that's fine. Cause I've been a smoking addict before, so I'm gonna build my whole life around replacing all the smoking with good stuff, positive affirmations. So yeah. 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 All right. And I can't lift you up because my mind is tired. It's family beaches that I desire. Sacred nights where we watch the fireworks. They frighten the babies, and you know they've got to. Flashing lights, and if they're colorblind, they make me feel that I'm the only that I'm only all I see sometimes. Dude, I'm so good. And I can't lift you up because my mind is tired. It's family beaches that I desire, sacred nights where we watch the fireworks, frighten the babies, and you know they've got to. Flashing lights and they're colorblind, they make me feel that I'm only all I see sometimes. I just time is that? 5 minutes in, baby. All right. Okay, what was I doing? I've been doing a lot of this today. Um, all right. Anyways, I feel like I'm doing a profile on the whole regime, but like, whatever. I don't care. It just feels dorky. Like when I have to go into these fucking things and be like, all right, guys, doesn't work. Doesn't work. I know this is the part that sounds like it'll work, but it's fucking snake oil because you don't know anything. You don't know nearly as much about Catholicism as he does. And I know like fucking like 1% of like psychology and sociology of like someone who's certified to know about it. So like, it's like it's kind of tough, bro. Like I don't even like I know like they all love me. Like all the sociology teachers, like they fucking love me, bro. Like they want me in their major. Like they want me to write the next big novel. But like I have to do it like bell hooks cuz I'm just spread thin. All right. You feel like you're all I see sometimes. No, what does he say? What does he say? Just put it up on this screen. I just need to look over at it. Sometimes they make me feel like I'm all I see sometimes. How did he come up with that fucking line, bro? Come up with that fucking line, bro. She spits me out in her surly blood rivers. What? No. No. Wait, Animal Collective is Panda Bear? Oh no, Panda Bear is in Animal Collective. Okay. Oh, that's why it's so fucking good. Hurts. Oh, Merriweather Post Pavilion. Bro, you can't make it you can't call the album Merriweather Post Pavilion and not make me think it's about the #1 online hit sensation before Facebook, before MySpace, World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft was bigger than fucking Facebook when it came out, bro. What the fuck do you mean? That I'm not every time I see that line, I don't care how it's written, okay? She spits me out in her certified rhythm. Certified rhythm. Digital. Cybernetic. Networked. Yeah. Certified rhythm. It is nothing you like. Genie's turning out the earth skin in my birth skin. It spits me out. And there's certified rhythm. Because when you press a button in WoW, a casting bar comes up. It is a casting timer. And then they pack as many attacks as they can into a single frame and do something funny with it, but I don't really know what it is. Alright. I've looked away long enough. I should be able to find my place. Almost never do they realize that they too know things they have learned in their relations with the world and with other women and men. Given the circumstances which have produced their duality, it is only natural that they distrust themselves. Not infrequently, peasants in educational projects begin to discuss a generative theme in a lively manner, then stop suddenly and say to the educator, "Excuse us, we ought to stay quiet and let you talk. You're the one who knows. We don't know anything." They often insist that there is no difference between them and the animals. When they do admit a difference, it favors the animals. They are freer than we are. It is striking, however, to observe how this self-deprecation changes with the first changes in the situation of oppression. I heard a peasant leader say in an asentimiento meeting, they used to say we were unproductive because we were lazy and drunkards. All lies. Now that we are respected as men, we're going to show everyone that we were never drunkards or lazy. We were exploited. As long as their ambiguity persists, the oppressor are reluctant to resist and totally lack confidence in themselves. They have a diffuse magical belief in the invulnerable and power of the oppressor, of the invulnerability and power of the oppressor. The magical force of the landowner's power holds particular sway in the rural area. A sociologist friend of mine tells of a group of armed peasants in a Latin American company. Sorry, I had a burp come up as I was about to say country, so my tongue went down instead of up. A sociologist friend of mine tells of a group of armed peasants in a Latin American country who recently took over a latifundium. Oh, I guess it was just my whole tongue went down. Okay. For tactical reasons, they plan to hold the landowner as a hostage, right? But not one peasant had the courage to guard him. His very presence was terrifying. It is also possible that the act of opposing the boss provoked guilt feelings. In truth, the boss was inside them. Like white guilt. The oppressed must see examples of the vulnerability of the oppressor so that a contrary conviction can begin to grow within them. Until this occurs, they will continue disheartened, fearful, and beaten. As long as the oppressed remain unaware of the causes of their condition, they fatalistically accept their exploitation. Further, they are apt to react in a passive and alienated manner when confronted with the necessity to struggle for their freedom and for self-affirmation. Little by little, however, they tend to try out forms of rebellious action. In working towards liberation, one must neither lose sight of this passivity nor overlook the moment of awakening. There's a fucking moment of awakening. Holy shit. Within their unauthentic view of the world and of themselves, the oppressor feel like things owned by the oppressor. What? Within their unauthentic view of the world and of themselves, the oppressed often feel like things owned by the oppressor. For the latter, to be is to have, almost always at the expense of those who have nothing. For the oppressed, at a certain point in their existential experience, to be is not to resemble the oppressor, but to be under him, to depend on him. Accordingly, the oppressed are emotionally dependent. The peasant is a dependent. He can't say what he wants. Before he discovers his dependence, he suffers. He lets off steam at home where he shouts at his children, beats them, and despairs. He complains about his wife and thinks everything is dreadful. He doesn't let off steam with the boss because he thinks the boss is a superior being. Lots of times the peasant gives vent to his sorrows by drinking. This total emotional dependence can lead the oppressed to what Fromm calls necrophilic behavior, the destruction of life, their own or what their oppressed fellows, or that of their oppressed fellows. It is only when the oppressed find the oppressor out and become involved in the organized struggle for their liberation that they begin to believe in themselves. Yo, that's crazy. Because I'm like, we are perpetually in a state of this. It is only when the oppressed finds the oppressor out and become involved in the organized struggle for their liberation that they begin to believe in themselves. This discovery cannot be purely intellectual, but must involve action, nor can it be limited to mere activism, but must include serious reflection. Only when, only then it will be praxis. Man, this is so annoying, dude. It sounds like I said unserious. Oh my god. I'm trying out here, dude. I have cramps you wouldn't believe, alright? One of them's on my fucking tongue right now. Critical and liberating dialogue, which presupposes action, must be carried on with the oppressed at whatever the stage of their struggle for liberation. The content of that dialogue can and should vary in accordance with historical conditions and the level at which the oppressed perceived reality. But to substitute monologues, slogans, and communiques. But to substitute monologues, slogans, and communiques for dialogues is to attempt to liberate the oppressed with the instruments of domestication. Attempting to liberate the oppressed without their reflective participation in the act of liberation is to treat them as objects which must be saved from a burning building. It is to lead them into the populist pitfall and transform them into masses which can be manipulated. I keep saying this, bro. I literally keep saying this, dude. Why won't they listen? Why do they keep running? All right. Okay. At all stages of their liberation, the oppressed must see themselves as women and men, engaged in the ontological and historical vocation of becoming more fully human. Reflection and action become imperative when one does not erroneously attempt to dichotomize the content of humanity from its historical form. The insistence that the oppressed their reflection and action become imperative when one does not erroneously attempt to dichotomize the content of humanity from its historical forms. Brother, I'm never gonna stop dichotomizing humanity. What do you mean? A three-way. That's just two ways. Don't you see? It's intersectionalism. Anyways. We have not acknowledged that we're not the third. Alright, anyways. Alright. The insistence that the oppressed engage in reflection on their concrete situation is not a call to armchair revolution. On the contrary, reflection, true reflection, leads to action. On the other hand, when the situation calls for action, that action will constitute an authentic praxis only if its consequences become the object of critical reflection. In this sense, the praxis is the new raison d'etre. Keep bringing this French shit. Raison d'etre. Raison d'etre. I swear we've Googled it before. I'm gonna Google it again. Oh fuck, it's my old video set. Okay. Beebs. Hold up. Hold up. Alright. How do you say it?
Raison d'etre.
No, fuck off.
Raisons d'etre.
Raison d'etre.
No, it has to sound crazier than that. What does it sound like in the French accent? They're reading it in English, and it's very understandable. It's not demanding anything from me. It's just raison d'etre.
Raison d'être.
D'etre. There we go. There we go. It's some fucking bullshit. All right. No, all right. There. I'm wired. What can I say? I'm a quitter. All right. One more time.
Raison d'être. Raison d'être.
Raison d'être. D'être. Raison d'être.
Raison d'être.
Raison d'être. Or something like that. Raison d'être. I'm gonna say it like date every time, buddy. Alright. In this sense, the praxis is the new raison d'être. 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 Where's my audio? Where's my audio? Okay. Didn't see it on the mixer. Raison d'être. In this sense, the praxis is the new raison d'être of the oppressed and the revolution, which inaugurates the historical movement of this raison d'être. And the revolution, which inaugurates the historical moment of this raison d'être, is not viable apart from their concomitant consciousness. Hold on. Movement. Concomitant conscious movement. I swear I can say it. Okay. Otherwise, action is pure activism. To achieve this praxis, however, it is necessary to trust in the oppressed and their ability to reason. Do I sound too much like a druggie when I say like it would be good for people to be more emotional. Do I sound too much like a druggo? Like a drugger? Man. The conquest on my validated speech is eerily close to the conquest on the validated speech of people who have complaints about capitalism. That's weird. Yes, Mr. Words, do you have a word on this? Raison d'être, 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 raison d'être. Dude, I feel like I haven't slept for days. Fuck, now I want to try herbal cigarettes. Like, if I'm just gonna fucking smell the box, why not just get the herbal stuff, man? Nah, because American Spirit is mellow. It's freaking nice, bro. Actually smells like the plant tobacco that the cigarette is based on. Political action on the side of the oppressed must be pedagogical action in the authentic sense of, I just skipped right over that last paragraph. Maybe I'm a little invested. Maybe I'm only slightly invested. Maybe I have an ulterior motive. Maybe the only reason I want there to be a revolution is so that I can have more free things and so that more people will be my friend. I'm not asking for a lot of free things. Just the things that people keep killing me for not having. Like food, shelter, medicine, or whatever tokens you people use to associate with each other. Of course, we could cut back on the tokens, but I fear people would just become gamers and drug addicts. To achieve this praxis, however, it is necessary to trust in the oppressed and their ability to reason. To achieve this praxis, however, it is necessary to trust in the oppressed and their ability to reason. Whoever lacks this trust will fail to initiate or will abandon dialogue, reflection, and communication and will fall into using slogans, communiques. I'm gonna go crazy. Where's this word from? It's French. So it is eek, right?
Communique. Or communique.
What? Damn you. This redirects from communique? It's a press release. Okay. But it's like a South American press release. Huh. 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 Alright. Communique. Alright. Whoever lacks this trust will fail to initiate dialogue, reflection, and communication, and will fall into using slogans, communiques, monologues, and instructions. Watch out for that. Superficial conversions to the cause of liberation carry this danger. It's so difficult to scale these things, is what they say. Yeah, because it's about people looking at fucking dirt all day and telling you if it works. God, when are you gonna understand? You need more granularity. You're not trying to solve planes, trains, and automobiles. You're trying to get people to stare at dirt for weeks on end. No, 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 no. Wine goblet. Ah, one person mentioned. Okay, someone mentioned it. Two people mentioned it. Okay. This picture is a doodle in the corner of a manuscript from Engelberg Stiftsbib in 339 AD, I'm assuming. Do you guys see it? I know I looked right at it. But do you see it? He has like a dong. He has like a dangling. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Yo, this goes fucking hard, bro. What the hell? Look. It's a joint, bro. It's a joint, bro. What the fuck? Dude, that... Oh, you fucking people. You people. Never let a guy with a sense of humor next to you. You'll know everything you don't want to know about yourself. What the fuck? I'm almost afraid to open my issues of Game Informer now, which I do still have, dating back to, oh my god. When did I start receiving Game Informer? Probably would have been like after, I want to say like after summer 2010. My sweet 2011 Game Informers, which I have been storing and I hope have not grown mold. I mean, it's a pretty dry state, but you never know. Fuck, I should check on those. Fuck. Alright. But yeah. Okay. Political action on the side of the oppressed must be pedagogical action in the authentic sense of the word. Therefore, action with the oppressed. Those who work for liberation must not take advantage of the emotional dependence of the oppressed. dependence that is the fruit of the concrete situation of domination which surrounds them and which engendered their unauthentic view of the world. Using their dependence to create still greater dependence is an oppressor tactic. I keep saying this. Most people just fucking freak. Most people just fucking freak. Or they fuck and freak. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man. All I know is that I'm eating this shit up. This is lemonade to me. I don't care. I'm just gonna let this wash over me. I mean, it's like saying things that I've already been like practicing like my entire life. Like, oh fuck, man, dude, fuck, shit, damn it. This is like Omelas. This is a lot like the fictional city from the short story, the city of Omelas, where my fucking misery makes everything happen. But it's not. I know I have sympathizers. But god damn it, I'm a fighter, dude. I'm a fucking fighter. I'm an entertainer, mostly. But yeah, like, fuck, man, like, fuck. I just know it, bro. I broke the system. I broke your fucking system at 8. Motherfucker. You put the hierarchy in there. And I went beyond it. I talked to everybody. And I fucking left as soon as I could. Dependence that is the fruit of the concrete situation of domination which surrounds them and which engendered their unauthentic view of the world. Using their dependence to create still greater dependence is an oppressor tactic. They secularized paganism? That's what it sounds like. Wait, so you're telling me they have this thing called biology and ecology? And basically it tells you what, like, plants and animals mean? Isn't that like modern day shamanism? Wait, they have one for rocks too? What the fuck? I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I is it wrong that I want to wake up one day to this? Like, I know it's a fight. I know it's a fight. I know what the most valuable fucking resource on this earth is. You wouldn't even have to tell me the name of it. I would know inherently it's water because I fight my hardest to hold back tears. But no, like, fuck, man. Jesus Christ, dude. Is that so fucked up that like I just want to wake up to this someday, man? Like I just want it to be there. I think when you grow up, you just get another person's like pain. You get all their happiness and all their joy, and you get all their pain. And I guess I'm just like I'm at this binary decision where it's either done or it's not. It's either happening or it's not. And it's happening. But it's I don't see it when I wake up. I just like I can't get over it. I can't. It's so like painful. Like it feels like I'm looking at the source of it. I shut out so much bullshit all the time. I'm really trying to remember like when I decided for myself that that I knew what was demanded of me. I'm digging deep. Digging so deep. It's fucking anything, you know? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. My parents were not really sit down at eye level type of people. But they had this game called Uno. When did I start deciding that I knew what I was? What I was good for? When did I like stop trying to do things because I was like bad at them? You know, I kind of remember 8 or 9. No, yeah, cuz my friends changed too. No, cuz I remember a dark thing was happening to me at 8 or 9. Cuz I knew like I could tell cuz I was already losing friends. I think that's when like the video game addiction got really bad. And it's like I just started losing friends. There were just so many people I felt like I just couldn't see. And it was like so like I guess I always kind of knew that it was like rotting, that there was time that passed, and over that time there was less. So I guess at that point I kind of internalized that it was like a bad habit. But I mean, as far as permissibility went, I mean, I was just gonna keep playing video games because I did. You know, why control the body like that? You know, I'm an American. Why control the body like that? Why even know? Like, why even think about it? You know? And I guess that's like where a lot of the friction's from. But like, when did I decide I knew? When did I decide I knew like that I was a thing, that I could be good at it? I guess you know, at some point people started asking me what they wanted my job to be, and I said computer programmer because I wanted to make video games, because games were like, I don't know, real to me, and like the next natural step is to make the thing that is real to you so it is the right shape and whatnot. Um, I guess that's when I started saying I was that, but like, I don't know. I guess part of me just feels really worthless when I don't see like any of this stuff happening, because I feel like I make a lot of personal choices that they're just not as fun, or they're not as, they don't please people, doesn't just make everyone happy. It doesn't like, doesn't say that it's fine to just make everyone happy. But it's so early, dude. It's so early. Yeah, rot. I don't know what goes into that. Something. I remember the rot. I remember the rot And I remember, like, I guess that is just like a moment where I kind of defined like who I was by like what I did according to what my environmental stimuli were. So I mean, like, I guess before that, people were like, I don't know, gendering me. I think before everything, I was someone who received gifts. It was just like an object that you'd throw free things at. And I'd play around, and then someone would come around and be like, "This is awesome." You know, I guess I remember like learning like colors and like intonation and things like that. But like the idea of my cognition being dominated by these lexical categories that exist to deceive me is, well, I'd have to say it's when people started asking me what I should be. I mean, like, you're asking me as a child if I know what I want to do. Like, doesn't get much earlier than that. When did it get self-destructive? Jeez, self-destructive. I guess when I lost. I guess when video games didn't work the way I wanted them to. Self-destructive. No one should be self-destructive. I never thought anyone should be self-destructive. Oh, those sickos. I didn't think it should have been self-destructive. Like, I didn't start placing myself in those roles until those sickos came around. Like, started having my friends, like, cut their names in them and stuff like that. I guess that's when it happened. Like, in my early 20s. Late teens, early 20s. It's when it, like, became a thought, and then only recently did it manifest in negative self-harming behaviors. So, you know, it took torture. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. I'm confident. You know, this is, how am I special? How am I special day? Oh, I'm very confident. I'm very self-directed. I'm actually not that much of a people pleaser most of the time. I kind of just pay lip service. But I pay it like I love it. But I love it. I pay it like I love it because I love it. How did this become about me? Because it just hurts, dude. It just hurts. Those who work for liberation must not take advantage of the emotional dependence of the oppressed. Dependence that is the fruit of the concrete situation of domination which surrounds them and which engendered their unauthentic view of the world. Using their dependence to create still greater dependence is an oppressor tactic. Libertarian action must recognize this dependence as a weak point and must attempt through reflection and action to transform it into independence. However, not even the best intentioned leadership can bestow independence as a gift. The liberation of the oppressed is a liberation of women and men, not things. Accordingly, while no one liberates himself by his or her, accordingly, while no one liberates his or herself by themselves by their own efforts alone, neither are they liberated by others. Liberation is a human phenomenon, cannot be achieved by semi-humans. Liberation, a human phenomenon, cannot be achieved by semi-humans. Any attempt to treat people as semi-humans only dehumanizes them. I heard they made a big breakthrough with that in Korea a couple years ago, actually, making transistors directly modeled on based on human brain cells. Really exciting in the field of modeling. The liberation of the oppressed is a liberation of women and men, not things. Oh! Right. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Okay, hold on. No, because I started banging my head against the desk in elementary school because someone told me it would give me brain damage. And since someone told me it would give me brain damage, I did it to show that it would not impair my ability to think. And apparently it does give you brain damage. Boxing, it has some serious health risks associated with it. You can punch someone stupid. He's making gender. The fuck? Using their dependence to create still greater dependence is an oppressor tactic. Libertarian action must recognize this dependence as a weak point and must attempt through reflection and action to transform it into independence. However, not even the best intentioned leadership can bestow independence as a gift. The liberation of the oppressed is a liberation of women and men, not things. Accordingly, while no one liberates himself by his own efforts alone, neither is he liberated by others. Liberation, a human phenomenon, cannot be achieved by semi-humans. Any attempt to treat people as semi-humans only dehumanizes them. When people are already dehumanized due to the oppression they suffer, the process of their liberation must not employ the methods of dehumanization. I swear to God, if you mention... he's gonna say one-armed bandit at some point. I just know it. And it's gonna be shaped like a penis. All these guys have the same fucking sense of humor. They just laugh at dicks that they draw all fucking day and then make a million good points an hour. Oh. Huh. I think it's pronounced sow. Alright. How is the funny C in Portuguese pronounced? Sedia. As always pronounced as a soft S. but there's a voiceless alveolar sibilant S. No, but honestly, that makes sense to me. Honestly, because you say conscient, right? Isas how. Sao. Sao. Isas sao. And then what the fuck? A with an Enye over it? Uh-uh. With a squiggle on top. Over it. Right. Uh-huh. A nasalized? What do you mean nasalized, bro? What do you mean by that? What? It's in their fucking language. I'm gonna go fucking crazy. If I don't start making progress with my pronunciation. Nasalized W glide. What the fuck? Ow, 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 ow. Alright. Made it through that rabbit hole alive. The correct method for a revolutionary leadership to employ in the task of liberation, therefore, is therefore not libertarian propaganda, nor can the leadership merely implant in the oppressed a belief in freedom, thus thinking to win their trust. The correct method lies in dialogue. The conviction of the oppressed that they must fight for their liberation is not a gift bestowed by the revolutionary leadership, but the result of their own conscience. Okay. Conscienza. 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 Sawa. Conscienza sawa. Conscienza sawa. Sour. Conscienza sour. Oh man, why does that sound wrong though? Why does that sound wrong though? I have so many decisions to make. So many good options. How do you pronounce this? Oh, he came up with this.
Awareness.
No, dude. No, dude, pronounce the word. This way. No, dude. Come on.
Conscientização ambiental.
Conscientização. I kind of like break it into syllables. Conscientização. Conscientização. I swear I'm doing it right, but it feels so wrong. Conscientização. 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 result of their own conscientização of their own conscientização. The conviction of the oppressed that they must fight for their liberation is not a gift bestowed by the revolutionary leadership, but the result of their own conscientização. The revolutionary leaders must realize that their own conviction of the necessity for struggle, an indispensable dimension of revolutionary wisdom, was not given to them by anyone else, if it is authentic. This conviction cannot be packaged and sold. It is reached rather by means of a totality of reflection and action. Only the leader's own involvement in reality within an historical situation led them to criticize the situation and to wish to change it. Are you guys familiar with the concept of the veil of the unknown? Or what is it? The veil of ignorance. Am I crazy? Does magic sound like a theory of justice? Veil of ignorance. Yeah, because the idea is that if you strip the roles from society or whatever, like, it causes you to, like, reevaluate how you believe a fair society should be run. Because you're going from this, like, very selfish goal to this very, like, altruistic goal all of a sudden. It's a fun sort of thought experiment associated with that. Magic is a bit different because magic implies that the information is being disseminated according to some, like, magical tradition, which is cool, right? But it's also, like, pretty notorious for, like, being, like, secretive or otherwise unknowable. I mean, the rule of thumb with magic is just don't lie. Understand your words have power and don't lie. Okay, I don't know why I got that. Conscientização. Oh, fuck. Conscientização. 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 The result of their own conscientização. The revolutionary leaders must realize that their own conviction of the necessity for struggle was not given to them by anyone else, if it is authentic. This conviction cannot be packaged and sold. It is reached rather by means of a totality of reflection and action. Only their leaders' own involvement in reality with an historical situation has led them to criticize the situation and the wish to change it. Fresh. Bro, if it is yours, then maybe it is revolutionary. Bro, why don't you pull it out so we can check? Okay. What do you think? I don't know. Do you mind if I'm touchy? Yeah. Sorry. I think it's cool that it looks like that, I guess. Yeah. Would it be cool if it was anyone else? And then they have gay sex. Okay, there it is. We're on God. I know. It's like it's like you're drowning underneath a plastic sheet and like you're just watching the air bubbles escape, but like you just know like that's the same way you get out of the situation. And you're just like, and the moment I said it, now sleep, sleep, my darling. You've got somewhere to be. No hesitation. It's scaring me. It's scaring me. It's scaring me to death. Don't. Please don't. Please don't. Smack. No, please don't. Oh. Smack. Do danka, danka. Do danka, danka. No hesitation. And I will Shit. Likewise, the oppressed, who do not commit themselves to the struggle unless they are convinced, and who, if they do not make such a commitment, withhold the indispensable conditions for the struggle, must reach this conviction as subjects, not as objects. They also must intervene critically in the situation which surrounds them and whose mark they bear. Propaganda cannot achieve this. While the conviction of the necessity for struggle is indispensable to the revolutionary leadership, it is also necessary for the oppressed. It is necessary. What if you had a guy? What if you had a guy reading with you? Why doesn't anyone ever do this? Like, let's find a book with a lot of parentheticals and just have a guy like ad lib in the parentheticals like as you're reading and just like produce an audiobook like that. Okay, anyways. And indeed, it was the conviction which constituted their leadership. It is also necessary for no, it has to come in like one of those like Chinese explanation tracks that like plays under the vertical video. All right, I'm done. It is also necessary for the oppressed. It is necessary, that is, unless one intends to carry out the transformation for the oppressed, rather than with them. It is my belief that only the latter form of transformation is valid. The object in presenting these considerations is to defend the eminently pedagogical character of the revolution. The revolutionary leaders of every epoch who have affirmed that the oppressed must accept the struggle for their liberation, an obvious point, have also thereby implicitly recognized the pedagogical aspect of this struggle. You have to tell me what you're thinking when you say that, and what you mean when you mean it. Many of these leaders, however, perhaps due to natural and understandable biases against pedagogy, ended up using the educational methods employed by the oppressor. They deny pedagogical action in the liberation process, but they use propaganda to convince. This is where I see the teaching series like really just, oh man, you weave it into this. It is essential for the oppressed to realize that when they accept the struggle for humanization, they also accept for that moment their total responsibility for the struggle. They must realize that they are fighting not merely for freedom from hunger, but for freedom to create and to construct, to wonder and to venture. Such freedom requires that the individual be active and responsible, not a slave or a well-fed cog in the machine. It is not enough that men are not slaves. If social conditions further the existence of automatons, the result will not be love of life, but love of death. The oppressed, who have been shaped by the death-affirming climate of oppression, dude, must find through their struggle the way to affirming humanization, which does not lie simply in having more to eat, although it does involve having more to eat and cannot fail to include this aspect. The oppressed have been destroyed precisely because the situation has reduced them to things. In order to regain their humanity, they must cease to be things and fight as men and women. This is a radical requirement. They cannot enter the struggle as objects in order later to become human beings. What were you doing? Oh. Here's the spell. Okay. So, if we go up here, I mean, he said there'd be magic. There's a little misdirection. A little bit of misdirection using the image of their own speech to make one believe that they are being primed to feel a certain way, and then to gladly offset that responsibility to people who won't have to deal with PTSD. You feel me? So you're gonna, if you're having a violent revolution, I mean, you gotta be ready to deal with the trauma that comes after something like that, right? Um, and it believes that you, it is a spell that believes that you believe in peace. That you believe in the little ways that a society is made, not only how land is conquered. That you're willing to do something fucking crazy, crazier than anything you see in front of you. Which is to say, you're going to do more magic. Which is like, when should that ever be like your first fucking choice? Where'd you get that? Okay, so he does some very clever wording like over here. So here he talks about the issue like these working men, when they're put through these like demanding physical conditions, they come home, and in this like global economy where goods have been like homogenized and luxuries are constantly like placed in front of these people and taken away, we sort of describe the situation here. What do you call it? I don't understand how the nuclear family works its way into this, except that it's like the only family structure that makes any sense when when you consider private property. I don't know. Um, if you own everything and everything is anonymous and unknowable to you, then a patriarchal family, uh, in which might is right, uh, constantly justifies defensive and at times very offensive actions against one another. Um, because of this sudden scarcity that's been presented to you by your neighbor arbitrarily being able to um enforce their property rights on you. Um yeah, like I guess like a patriarchal like nuclear family would arise from that in that fucking scramble. And I'd probably want to look like a bush too. Ayo. No, anyways. Um let's see. Where does he say it? There he mentions magic. And then it sets some important conditions here. So this is your boy's spell, okay? If you don't respect the conditions, if the conditions do not match, the magic doesn't work. That's how it is. Okay. This is ritual magic. It's not just performative, not just recreational Magic the Gathering. This is ritual magic. Okay. And so he sets the conditions here, and I think it's like here. No, this is setting the conditions. So what did I just point out? Oh yeah, this is the life that is so many times. Oh my god. If there's anything that's ever been like fucking hammered and fucking pushed into my brain after so many fucking years, it's that seeing things alive is good. And seeing things moving and creating their own movement is good. It's just very ironic considering how I walk around. But maybe I just compartmentalize and enjoy that part of myself. One knows that it is distasteful to focus on it. Attempting to liberate the oppressed without their reflective participation in that. Can be manipulated. Talking about these various spectrums. Setting more limitations. At all stages of their liberation, the oppressed must see themselves as women and men engaged in the ontological and historical vocation of becoming more fully human. Reflection and action must become imperative when one does not erroneously attempt to dichotomize the content of humanity from its historical forms. And people are gonna feel cheated. That's how it is. And white people are gonna obsess about being brought into these things because Lord knows their history's fucked and fucking. So he's gonna be like, but what if you're born into it? What if you're born into it? People are like, born into it? Doesn't that mean like rich people things? Like, what if you're born into it? What if you're born? What if World War II wasn't like the biggest thing on your mind right now? God, I don't know. I guess I just wouldn't be myself. I don't know. Anyway, God, I don't know. Just ask me a fucked up question. But to substitute, mono- oh man, what would I be obsessed with if I wasn't obsessed with World War II? I guess I guess the largest welfare reform that Ireland has ever experienced in its entire existence. Um, since that island became several nations. I guess that I'd be thinking about butts all the time. Just butt, ass, 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 ass. I would have grown up. I wouldn't have been into large women. I would specifically be into asses. All right. Anyways, God, it's gone. Jesus Christ. This is like holy shit. I kind of want this in print. Not gonna lie, scrolling up and down on this section is just igniting interesting thoughts. No, it has to be this. No, man, is it just Damn. There was just this big. I was just looking. I was just fucking looking, dude, and it's just I couldn't find what I was looking for, but just like everything I saw was so right that like I just didn't want to stop looking. Like it's I focus in on anything and it's like nothing that made me recognize it as a trick is there. It's just you can just tell. Like you could say you can just tell, but it's like it's really you're scrolling and you're flipping and you're looking for words that you like. Which don't get me wrong, I do all the time, but I mean even I just like stop and I'm like, okay, line by line, like could you I just hate the idea of living with fear. I would feel like indebted to someone who I've terrorized into silence. Can you imagine making someone feel like so fucking unwanted and strange that they just stop talking? Jesus, it's like inhumane. That is like 100% power tripping. All right. I'll play games, but power? Villains use power. Heroes use their bravery. Fuck. Yeah, I guess. Alright. Anyways. Heroes do use their bravery. The fuck? Okay, wait. I mean, like, they use their power too, but that's. Power from fear is. It's just waiting to become dehumanized. I mean, what does one have to fear if they have power? Further dehumanization from fucking what? A gorilla? Like, alright. Anyways. Fuck, and I'm reading it twice. God damn. Remember when I was talking about the ad libs? That was awesome. The object in presenting these considerations is to defend the eminently pedagogical character of the revolution. The revolutionary leaders of every epoch who have affirmed that the oppressed must accept the struggle for their liberation, an obvious point, have also hereby explicitly recognized the pedagogical aspect of this struggle. Many of these leaders, however, have ended up using the educational methods employed by the oppressor. They deny pedagogical action in the liberation process, but they use propaganda to convince. It is essential for the oppressed to realize that when they accept the struggle for humanization, they also accept that from that moment, their total responsibility for that struggle. They also accept from that moment their total responsibility for that struggle. They must realize that they are fighting not merely for freedom from hunger, but for freedom to create, to construct, to wonder, and to venture. Such freedom requires that the individual be active and responsible, not a slave or a well-fed cog in the machine. It is not enough that men are not slaves. If social conditions further the existence of automatons, the result will not be love of life, but love of death. Who writes this shit? From? What, From Software? Is that where he's writing it from? Alright, the oppressed who have been shaped by the death-affirming climate of oppression must find through their struggle the way to life-affirming humanization, which does not lie simply in having more to eat, though it does involve having more to eat and cannot fail to include this aspect. The oppressed have been destroyed precisely because their situation has reduced them to things. In order to regain their humanity, they must cease to be things and fight as men and women. This is a radical requirement. They cannot enter the struggle as objects in order later to become human beings. I don't know. I'm starting to believe it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm starting to believe it. Man, he's sharp. He's sharp. Alright. The struggle begins with men's recognition that they have been destroyed. Imagine. The struggle begins with men's recognition that they have been destroyed. Propaganda, management, manipulation, all arms of domination cannot be the instruments of their rehumanization. The only effective instrument is a humanizing pedagogy in which the revolutionary leadership establishes a permanent relationship of dialogue with the oppressed. Fuck! Step 1. Talk to as many old people as you can. Step 1. Talk to as many old people as you can. Okay? These people have been destroyed. The only effective instrument is a humanizing pedagogy in which the revolutionary leadership establishes a permanent relationship of dialogue with the oppressed, which we haven't experienced. We've experienced a dehumanizing pedagogy in which revolutionary leadership establishes a temporary relationship of dialogue with the oppressed in order to inspire the culmination of differences from these radicalized groups, turning them into smaller absorbable cells for the American congressional duopoly. I mean, you can't really call it a duopoly if Bernie Sanders is there, but man. Oh, dude, like sorry. Yeah, establishes a permanent just turn it around. What do I keep saying? What do I keep saying? No, this is routing planes. This is connecting flights. This is connecting flights. Dead ass. No, this is connecting flights. Dead ass. No, dead ass. This is connecting flights. Because I think in the most optimal solution to connecting flights, you look for like greatly connected flights. Like it's like they give you like a doubly linked list, or they give you a linked list or something, and you're supposed to check it both ways. And I'm pretty sure that it's like if you loop back onto a node that you already have access to, then you're like creating like bubbles basically, and like you're traversing through the list and you're finding like little loops, and then you go back the other way, and then you like find more loops, and then like store all those on like a table somewhere or something, and then like you can basically see if one airport is like, you basically get to see like one airport's like view of the map like every time, and then you like, it's like I think if you want to connect flights, you just like fucking I mean that's kind of a different problem, isn't it? That's traveling salesman, but like technically it's traveling salesman, so you can use linear estimation. I don't know, it's been a while. You can use linear estimation or something like that to approximate the scores, and that's something you can look up. And then fucking what was I talking about? Oh yeah, because you create a holistic point of view by using every difference that you fucking can. You need to appreciate every difference that exists now. You need to appreciate every difference that exists now. I know this is gonna hurt, but if you're a digital artist, I need you to stop what you're doing and perform a horizontal flip for me. I need you to stop everything you're doing and flip check every piece of art that you see on your Twitter timeline right this instant. I need you to flip check everything now. Go. Oh. In a humanizing pedagogy, because the idea is that like the Holy Roman Empire, when they were going through Europe, was they desecrated the temples, destroyed or defaced any sort of religious symbolism, and imposed like the Bible and its teachings on like every other like every one of these like lands, right? And of course you're doing this with like plenty of bodies, plenty of steel. Was it steel? Okay, you're getting out of my wheel box. Um okay, so yeah, so like the idea is that if you segregate the generations more or less um in your effort to improve, which is, you know, your ability to mutate over time, um society will communicate differently with different emotional preferences and imperatives attached to those preferences, and different levels of varying levels of mythiopia, and it's gonna happen intra and intergenerationally. um but yeah, like uh the idea is that like a lot of people in the same place at the same time might feel the same way about one thing that's there, but having people who are older than you to talk to about these things, who you can trust and who you can engage in pedagogy with, um these people like have essentially like extended your land through time. Like how do I put this? Like you understand holistically more of the differences based on what's been changing like in the region and around the region, based on how you essentially like therapize like all the elderly members of your community, um and that can give you like better I mean you gain more intelligence. I mean, what else is there to say? It's int up. It's an int up season. No, but like for real, it gives you more intelligence, and it forces you to practice being uh holistic and focused on dialogue, and focused on like pedagogy, um while doing something that's basically like harmless, because eventually you're going to be doing it to a soldier or a veteran or whatever who like is like a family member, like a close friend or something. And that's how you decolonize. That's how you like free the oppressed, to free them in their own minds. Or we could all just tell them that they're girls and give them pills. Okay. No. That's bad. That do not even joke. Like, come on, like just give me bicalutamide so we can at least rule out infertility. Um but it's so funny. It's so funny. You wanna know why it was funny? You know why it was funny when we used to say it? Because it was unreal. Because it was unreal. And because it was a safe topic. Revolution was a safe space. And it still is. Alright. Only place you can be fucking honest. Alright. The only effective instrument is a humanizing pedagogy. In a humanizing pedagogy, the method ceases to be an instrument by which the teacher can manipulate the students, because it expresses the consciousness of the students themselves. The method is, in fact, the external form of consciousness manifest in acts, which takes on the fundamental property of consciousness, its intentionality. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in this world that gets done as it's planned. The essence of consciousness is being with the world, and this behavior is permanent and unavoidable. Well, that makes me feel better when I'm really scared and shaky about making serious decisions that could impact another person's life. Thank you. Accordingly, consciousness is in essence a way towards something apart from itself, outside itself, which surrounds it, and which it apprehends by means of its ideational capacity. I think there's a broad spectrum of secular and non-secular ideas that encompasses. So I'll just do a quick MS Paint drawing. I don't know, it's just a drawing of a house. Or is it? Nope. It's a scroll motif. Oh, I bet you didn't see that coming. Bet you didn't expect the papyrus motif in this biatch. Papyrus motif in this biatch. Yo, when the thing about thinking has a papyrus motif, damn, I better go touch a book or something. And it's outside. And let's add some mountains. Background. Little snow peaks. Kind of funny. Okay. And I bet you weren't ready for a real human head. Oh, what? And it goes into the eye sockets? Wait, hold up. Now I'm listening. Wait, hold up. Now I'm listening. Before I wasn't listening. But since you put it in the eye sockets like that, now I'm listening. You see, you hear that? Pedagogy. Because if they said now I'm listening, it would be too easy, right? It would change the whole cat and mouse dynamic. It would be like a more comforting, more like trusted adult sort of situation between kids and students, or students and parents. Students and teachers. Hello? I just want you to know. I just want you to know that as you move forward, you look like this to me. And that's just life, dude. We try to recreate it every time. In fact, many people told you this as a child. We are always trying to recreate life. Okay? We're always trying to do it. The method is, in fact, the external form of consciousness manifest in acts, which takes on the fundamental property of consciousness, its intentionality. The essence of consciousness is being with the world, and this behavior is permanent and unavoidable. That I just went for my thumb again for like the 50th fucking time. All right. The essence of consciousness is being with the world, and this behavior is permanent and unavoidable. Accordingly, consciousness is in essence a way towards something apart from itself, outside itself, which surrounds it, and which it apprehends by means of its ideational capacity. Consciousness is thus, by definition, a method in Consciousness is thus, by definition, a method in the most general sense of the word. Excuse me. Really gassy with that one. Wow. Wow, that's chapter 1. The fuck? Dude, I need I need this in print. Oh my god. I want to walk somewhere to read this, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, what the fuck? Nice. A revolutionary leadership must accordingly practice co-intentional education. Teachers and students, leadership and people, co-intent on reality, are both subjects, not only in the task of unveiling that reality, and therefore coming to know it critically, but in the task of recreating that knowledge. As they attain this knowledge of reality through common reflection and action, they discover themselves as its permanent recreators. Like the genie in the lamp. In this way, the presence of the oppressed in the struggle for their liberation will be what it should be. Not pseudo-participation, but committed involvement. I just want to say they need to normalize treating 17-year-olds like 40-year-old men on the internet. just demean them and kick the shit out of them constantly, so they have to justify it themselves. No, I'm joking. That's cruel. That's cruel and fucked up, and exactly the kind of thing that I'm really trying to unlearn by reading this. Maybe I'll unlearn it in my sleep. It's pretty funny though. It's funny forever. I just said it was funny. Unless, like, I have, like, a traumatic head injury, I guess. I don't know. Or I just, dissociate constantly and I never make it back to this moment. But maybe some people just like everything to always be different. Maybe it's, like, how people tell time or, like goof around or something. Alright. Anyways, thank you.